In Santo Domingo, there are 5 aspects that I will be focusing on: transportation, crime, government, poverty, and urbanization. Getting around Santo Domingo is not difficult. It may seem confusing at first trying to figure out the system. But once you understand the basics, you will realize that the public transportation system in Dominican Republic is quite efficient and very affordable. With the many forms of public transportation, including taxis, buses, motorcycles, public cars, guagas, the new subway named Metro, horse, and of course by walking, there is always a way to get to where you need to go. The Santo Domingo Metro is a rapid transit system in Santo Domingo. Mass transportation system for Santo Domingo makes a total of 6 lines. Public taxis usually cost about $12 to $15. In Santo Domingo, these cars will work on alternate days of the week. They all have a specific route they travel. They drive the main road, stopping wherever passengers want to get in or out. Guaguas are another cheap form of Dominican transportation. These vans are usually in very poor condition and they hold as many people they can fit. There are no official stops or schedules that they follow. They will stop anywhere along their route, dropping off and picking up passengers. When the route ends, there will be another to pick up passengers and take them farther. This is an uncomfortable form of transportation, but it is very inexpensive. The Dominican Republic has been designated a high-threat post for crime. Street robberies, pickpocketing, credit card fraud, ATM fraud, burglaries, murder, assault, and thefts from vehicles are all common crimes in the Dominican Republic. Statistically, everyone who resists robbery is injured. It is recommended by officials for women not to go anywhere alone or at night. The Dominican Republic is a representative democracy, with national powers divided among independent executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The President of the Dominican Republic appoints the cabinet, executes laws passed by the Congress, and is in commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Legislative power is exercised by a bicameral Congress composed of the Senate and the Chamber of Deputies. The Dominican Republic also has a multi-party political system with national elections every 2 years. Presidential elections are held every 4 years. The President appoints the governors of the 34 provinces. Mayors and municipal councils administer the 124 municipal districts and the national district. They are elected at the same time as congressional representatives. The country becomes highly politicized during election campaigns as millions of dollars are spent in propaganda. Poor urban communities throughout Dominican Republic have been historically represented as sites of physical and moral danger. The majority of Dominicans living below the official poverty line lack indoor sanitation or indoor running water. Over half do not have running water at all. The vast majority had not completed primary school. People with jobs in the free trade zones average about $80 to $120 per month, enough to lift them above the poverty line. In the booming cities, more people are rising into the middle class, though some only by working 2 and 3 jobs. Meanwhile, the upper middle class can afford large houses, luxury cars, and ski vacations. The poor among Santo Domingo, however, continue to grow, in part due to migration from impoverished rural areas. In some places, there are programs to improve essential social services like health and education through decentralization and greater involvement of local communities. On the streets of Santo Domingo, poverty is evident, shown by beggars and peddlers from the age of 4 to the age of 70, approach car windows at stoplights, holding out their hands or offering food for sale. Everything and anything is sold on the streets, such as sunglasses, candy, puppets, kites, cell phones, cards, and covers. Street vending is not easy. Based on a study on poverty in the Dominican Republic, nearly one-third of the population from ages 18 to 24 were unemployed, but many of these get by day to day by working in the streets. Some are hired without a contract, but many help their families by taking advantage by selling their goods. For the most part, Dominicans are content with the situation. However, it's the youngest of the workers and the beggars that worry them. When seeing 4 to 10-year-olds begging for change or offering to wash windows, many Dominicans don't know the best route to take. While it's obvious that their families need all the help they can get, not everyone wants to support families who are raising illiterate or uneducated children by keeping them out of schools and on the streets. Population growth and rural-urban migration strained cities' capacity to provide housing and amenities. Nevertheless, city dwellings had access to potable water, 90% had some type of sewage disposal, and roughly 90% had electricity. The proportion of homes with piped or easy access to potable water, however, actually declined by nearly 10 percentage points. Settlements grew in response to the scarcity of low-cost urban housing. In Santo Domingo, these settlements were concentrated along the Ozama River, and primary beneficiaries of public projects were usually from lower-income groups, although they were not the poorest urban dwellers. Projects targeted those making at least minimum wage, the lower middle sector, or even the more stable segments of the working class.